You know, I've been thinking these past few days about how life is. I've been listening to old videos of old presidents of the United States debating. And word for word, I hung on to everything that I could find. Everything that the video spoke of. And when you listen to what it is said, and then you use your own common sense understanding in today's society, say the debate between JFK and Nixon, when Nixon was a vice president, I believe. 1960. In any case, the commentator of the show that they were on, and there were four different, if I remember correctly, and NBC was there as well. There was four different news stations that were there. And the commentator said verbatim, or close enough to it, that the conversation that JFK and Nixon has agreed on backstage prior to coming out here shall be the rules that they laid out for themselves. Keep that in mind. Now, during one of the high points that Nixon came up with for not voting for the teacher pay raise was, according to him, from what he was saying, that he was for the pay raise. That's why it got as far as it did in the House and the Senate. And then he was the deciding factor of if it was gonna pass or not pass, because he's the vice president. Now, up to this point, he has always been for the pay raise for the teachers. And he spoke on it. Now, but when it reached his desk, and he's the deciding factor to break the tie, as all vice presidents have been and always will be, he voted against it. Now, his reasoning behind this entire thing is the federal government was going to be in control of education and so on and so on. And I'm like, okay, well, if that is truly the case, and if you'd have voted yes and the federal government was going to pay the teachers, then they would have been in control of the teachings of the American people. Then yes, I would have voted against it as well. Teachers do need a pay raise. There's no doubt about that. But here's the problem. JFK came over and says, no, Nixon, you're wrong. But he beat around the bush a little bit in wording this. Although enough is said with anyone with common sense would understand that Nixon was lying his butt off. He did all that just for a political point of view, and that was it. Because it was time to go up for president, and that's what he wanted. All the teachers' union to be with him. And he was gonna sweep everything under the rug by telling a few lies. But JFK says, no, that's not the reason why you voted no and against it, because what you spoke of, what the bill was all about, had nothing to do with the government. Had nothing to do with the government taking control of the education. The bill you're talking about had to do with the opposite, and still paying the teachers. I am for it. That's why I voted for the pay raise of the teachers. First thing that came to my mind is JFK already knew at that time he was going to win this debate. They discussed this back behind closed doors, and the commentator said as much. And instead of making Nixon look as bad as he could have possibly looked at that one debate, JFK said no. Nixon says, you're going to make me look bad, but don't do it too bad. Okay, I'm going to help you win this presidency, at least as far as I'm concerned. But on these certain talking points that are going to come up, I know I'm going to be wrong. You know I'm going to lie. Let's hurry up and get past these talking points and move on to the next one. And if you listen to that whole debate that happened in 1960, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. These two came to an agreement before they went on to the stage to debate. And during the debate, you could see where Nixon could have been crushed easily by all the lies that he told. Yet JFK only brought it up in a countered him in a very small way and then pushed on. That was about money and leadership. It was about money first because they needed the money to get to where they're at. The American people paid for Nixon and JFK to be where they're at. Not just the corporations, although the corporations had a large part to do with it. Keep in mind, I'm talking about money now. Now, in order to move forward with anything, you need to keep the steady flow of money coming in. I'd like to know where all that money goes anyway. Surely hundreds of millions of dollars is not used on just campaigning. It can't be. So who's pocketing all that money? So they came to an agreement before the debate. The commentator said that, and then they were both going to hold to what they the agreement that they came to. The debates, the commentator said that as well. Now, they did all that for money and leadership. We all see what happened with JFK. Nixon, we all see what happened during his presidency. I have a way, and I know it'll work, to make any one group of people a lot of money. But only money in the aspect that it would be wealth, not riches. Unfortunately, there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there that want riches. They don't want wealth. Although all wealthy people know that you have to become rich first before you can become wealthy. I've also come to the understanding at my age in life that I've always held for a very long time that I'm only going to date my sisters. Now I'm rethinking that on the sole fact that I may want to be the only one dating my sisters, but for the benefit of my children, I need to be able to provide for them better than what their mothers are doing, even what I am doing right now. And I cannot do that alone. And all the sisters I ever dated, the majority of them don't have a mom. I mean, they don't have a dad. They have a mom running the house. So they don't know what it's like to have a king or a man to run the household. So now heads are butting on what's the best thing to do. My type of personality is if I have to follow, I will. Once I don't have to follow no more, that's it. I'm on my own. our queens, for some reason, believe that they can be the king, that they can lead us. In a lot of instances, they can. The majority of them, they can't. Fundamentally, responsibly, even when it came to a life or death situation, they wouldn't lead. Only when it suits them. They're not willing to make the sacrifice for the family. True, they are more than likely make the sacrifice for the kids, but not for the family. There's a difference, huge difference. The ultimate sacrifice. And man, time and time again, has always made the ultimate sacrifice for the family, not just the kids. European women know more on a fundamental level that they need a man in life. And they know their role in a relationship. I'm going to think long and hard for the next year. Matter of fact, this next year, I'm going to start dating. I'm not going to give up on my queens, but I'm going to start dating these Europeans. I'm going to get back in this scene of 2 decades of leaving them alone. Because I'm tired of arguing with my queens on this is the right path to go about. This is how we can make money. We have to sacrifice in order to get there. European women know this already. Not enough of our queens know this, and they always want to lead. Yet if a man were to break into a house, the first thing she would do is hide behind her man. This entire time prior to the house being broken into, she would always try to lead the family, argue with her man, tell him what to do, and act as if she's a leader. But yet, when the house is being intruded upon, she want to jump behind the guy. No, it's not how it works. You want to act like a leader? Be prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. That's what leaders do. So, love can happen between any 2 peoples. I don't see how it happens between 2 guys or 2 women. Whatever. I'm not into that Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. Never will be. But you know what? You guys believe in white Jesus, so you can do anything wrong, and white Jesus died for your sins, so you'll always go to heaven. I'm going to give the European women another chance. I see the European women being more successful with their opposites, which would be the African males, the African men. And the majority of the time, they do a great job together. Of all the sisters I've ever dated, there was always arguments. I've always picked them up off their feet, got them into their own place, got them into college, gave them one of my vehicles so they can get around town, you know, and still giving them money. And I lost in the end because they didn't want to do the hard work. They'd much rather go out there and play at all times. And that's fine. They're playing right now. I know 2 of them doing piss poor, real bad. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, if you think that you have to show off your body in a sexual manner to get somewhere, fine. You can go ahead and be that nutsack. The other one, well, her family don't want nothing to do with her. So, she's another nutsack. This time around, I'm going to go for everything that I want in a woman. Healthy, likes to work out, likes to work, build something, create something, and not let nothing stand in the way. Nothing will stand in my way to find the woman that'll help me get to where it is that I want to be for my future family and my future generations. Not race, creed, anything. The only thing that would stop me from getting to where I want to be at is because someone outbidded me in the money department. That's it. So I suggest all my kings out there do the same thing. You know, don't give up on your queens. We can find a queen that'll work. Fine, we got to find a queen that would work. But I'm not going to wait on a sister to do the right thing and act right. Either you're going to be there and win the race, or you come in second place. All right? That first place is going to another woman. It ain't a sister either. I'm looking for you. But if I can't find you, don't complain about being in second place. You wanted to be the boss, no, accept the consequences. Keep that in mind.